In the competitive landscape of 2026, the word fresh has become one of the most abused terms in the culinary dictionary. As food costs fluctuate and labor shortages persist, many of the world's most recognizable chains have shifted to a central kitchen model. This involves preparing food in massive industrial facilities, vacuum sealing it in plastic bags, and shipping it to local storefronts where the cooking consists of little more than a microwave or a hot water bath. Quick favor before we move on. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 92% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So did you subscribe already? Great. Thank you so much for your support. Now back to the video. For the consumer paying premium prices for what is marketed as a handcrafted meal, the reality behind the kitchen door can be a significant PHH, potential health hazard, regarding nutrient density and chemical leaching from reheated plastics. Here are 7 global chains where the freshly prepared narrative often clashes with the industrial reality. 1. Panera Bread. The reality. Once the poster child for clean eating, Panera has faced increasing scrutiny in 2026 for its heavy reliance on factory-prepared items. The fresh claim, freshly baked bread, and clean soups. The behind the scenes. While the bread is baked in-store, the dough is often flash frozen and shipped from central facilities. The most popular items, like the mac and cheese and nearly all the signature soups, arrive at the store in plastic pouches. The process: employees simply drop these frozen or refrigerated bags into a rethermalizer, a hot water bath, to bring them up to temperature before pouring them into bowls. This boil-in bag method ensures consistency but strips the soul, and often the texture, out of the ingredients. 2. Applebee's Grill Plus Bar. The reality. As one of the largest casual dining chains globally, Applebee's has long been the target of Chef Mike, the microwave, jokes, which insiders confirm are rooted in truth. They fresh claim, eaten good in the neighborhood, with grill-focused entrees. The behind the scenes, aside from steaks and burgers that actually hit a flat-top grill, a vast majority of the appetizer sampler items and side dishes, like mashed potatoes and pasta, are pre-cooked and frozen. The process, the Chef Mike reputation, is literal here. Many locations utilize high-speed industrial microwaves to reheat pre-portioned pasta and vegetable dishes. This is why your spinach artichoke dip arrives at the table in under 4 minutes. It wasn't baked, it was nuked. 3. Subway. The reality. Despite the "Eat Fresh" slogan, Subway's proteins have been the subject of multiple DNA and chemical controversies leading into 2026. The fresh claim, freshly sliced meats and vegetables. The behind the scenes. While Subway made a high-profile move to slice some deli meats in-store recently, the hot proteins, like the steak, roasted chicken, and meatballs, are entirely pre-cooked, processed, and shipped in vacuum-sealed bags. The process: these meats are kept in refrigerated bins and finished in a high-speed toaster oven for 30 seconds. This is not cooking, it is rehydrating and searing. In 2026, the controversy remains focused on how much soy filler and moisture-retaining additives are required to keep these pre-cooked meats from turning into rubber during the reheating process. 4. Chili's Grill and Bar. The reality. Similar to its competitors in the casual dining space, Chili's relies on a sizzle and show strategy to distract from industrial prep. They fresh claim, famous for fresh Tex-Mex and sizzling fajitas. The behind the scenes. The iconic sizzle is often a result of sizzle sauce, a mixture of oil and water added to a hot cast iron plate seconds before it leaves the kitchen. The actual meat and peppers are often pre-cooked and kept in warming trays. The process. Many of the fried appetizers, like the Southwestern egg rolls, arrive at the store pre-assembled and frozen. They are simply dropped into a deep fryer to provide a fresh crunch to a meal that was actually prepared months prior in a factory. 5. Olive Garden. The reality. The Italian kitchen image suggests a grandmother stirring a pot of sauce, but the scale of Olive Garden makes this impossible. They fresh claim, freshly prepared sauces and unlimited soup/salad. The behind the scenes. While Olive Garden earns points for actually making their soups from scratch in the morning, their pasta and many of their specialty sauces follow a different path. The process. Pasta is par-cooked, partially cooked, in massive batches every morning, shocked in an ice bath, and bagged. When you order, that bag of pasta is dipped in boiling water for 60 seconds. While efficient, this prevents the pasta from ever reaching a true al dente texture, as it is effectively being cooked twice. 6. Chipotle Mexican Grill. The reality. Chipotle is the most surprising entry on this list because of its no freezers policy. However, no freezers does not mean no pre-cooked food. The fresh claim. Food with integrity. No freezers, no cans. The behind the scenes. To prevent foodborne illness outbreaks, which plagued the brand in the past, Chipotle shifted to a centralized sous vide prep for its most high-risk meats, including the barbacoa, carnitas, and even the beans. The process. These items are cooked in a central commissary at a precise temperature for hours, vacuum-sealed, and shipped. At the restaurant, they are simply reheated in a pot. While this is technically fresh, not frozen, it is a far cry from the scratch kitchen image the brand portrays. 7. Taco Bell. The reality. Taco Bell is remarkably transparent about its seasoned beef, but the process is the definition of industrial assembly. The fresh claim. Live Más with freshly prepared tacos. The behind the scenes. The beef arrives at the store in thick plastic tubes or bags, already cooked and seasoned. The process. The meat is kept in a hot well at the assembly line. Because the meat is pre-cooked and shipped in a liquid-heavy marinade to keep it moist, it often has a texture more akin to a paste than ground beef. In 2026, the focus is on the autolyzed yeast extract and maltodextrin, used to keep this pre-cooked slurry shelf-stable and tasty after weeks in the supply chain. PHH conclusion. Why this matters in 2026. The primary concern with the pre-cook and reheat model isn't just a lack of culinary artistry. It's the nutritional degradation and chemical exposure. 1. The plastic problem. Heating food in plastic bags, sous vide, or rethermalizing is a major source of endocrine-disrupting phthalates and BPA/BPS leaching, which are increasingly scrutinized in 2026 health reports. 2. Sodium overload. To make pre-cooked food taste fresh after it has been sitting in a bag for 3 weeks, chains must load the ingredients with massive amounts of sodium and artificial flavor enhancers. 3. The fresh tax. Consumers in 2026 are increasingly frustrated by paying gourmet prices for grocery quality. The shift towards centralized production in 2026 is a double-edged sword. While it allows these 7 global giants to maintain a massive footprint and consistent pricing despite global inflation, it fundamentally changes the biological value of the food we consume. The hidden cost of efficiency. As we navigate the dining landscape of 2026, the primary concern with the pre-cook and reheat model isn't just a lack of culinary artistry, it is a measurable decline in health outcomes. Nutritional bankruptcy. Recent 2024 and 2025 studies published in the BMJ confirm that ultra-processed diets are linked to 32 different health conditions, including a 50% increased risk of cardiovascular-related death. When food is cooked, cooled, shipped, and reheated, essential vitamins, specifically vitamin C and B complex, can degrade by as much as 70%. The cocktail effect. By eating at chains that rely on central kitchens, you aren't just consuming calories. You are consuming a cocktail of industrial additives and stabilizers designed to keep food looking fresh after weeks in a plastic bag. Plastic leaching. The boil-in bag and high-heat microwave methods used by these chains accelerate the migration of phthalates and bisphenol into your meal. In 2026, these endocrine disruptors are increasingly being tied to metabolic confusion and gut microbiome imbalance. The 2026 diner's strategy. To avoid the freshness trap, look for open kitchens. In the current market, transparency is the ultimate luxury. If you can see the steam rising from a sauté pan or the raw ingredients being chopped by a human, you are likely avoiding the industrial reheating cycle.